Thomas Hayes worked the night shift at Riverside Elementary, pushing his cleaning cart down empty hallways long after the children had gone home. At 42, his hands were calloused from years of hard work, but his eyes still held the warmth of a man who understood what truly mattered in life. His dark hair was touched with gray at the temples, and the Clean Corp uniform he wore was always neat, always pressed. He took pride in his work, no matter what others might think of it. Every evening, Thomas would finish his shift, drive home to a small apartment, and wake his 7-year-old daughter, Emma, for school. She had auburn hair that caught the morning light, and eyes that sparkled with innocence. Since her mother passed 3 years ago, it had been just the two of them, navigating life together with quiet determination and endless love. Victoria Ashford was a different story altogether. The 38-year-old businesswoman had built a technology empire worth billions. But her greatest challenge wasn't in boardrooms or stock markets. It was her 6-year-old daughter, Lily. The child was beautiful, with blonde hair and bright eyes, but she was also considered difficult, demanding, impossible to please. A parade of nannies had come and gone, each one lasting mere weeks before giving up in frustration. Victoria was at her wits' end. She stood in the principal's office one afternoon, her designer suit crisp and professional, watching through the window as Lily sat alone in the courtyard, pushing away another teacher who tried to help. Mrs. Ashford, Principal Morrison said, gently, perhaps what Lily needs isn't another specialist or therapist. Perhaps she just needs ... understanding. That evening, as Thomas cleaned the administrative offices, he noticed the little blonde girl still sitting outside, long after everyone else had left. She was crying quietly, her small shoulders shaking. Thomas remembered that feeling. After his wife died, Emma had cried, just like that. Silent tears that came from a place too deep for words. He walked outside, slowly, not wanting to startle her. Hello there, he said softly, sitting down on the bench, a respectful distance away. I'm Thomas. I clean the school at night. Lily looked at him suspiciously, wiping her eyes. Everyone says I'm bad. Thomas was quiet for a moment, choosing his words carefully. You know what I think? I think you're probably just sad, and sometimes when people are sad, they don't know how to tell anyone, so it comes out in other ways. The girl studied him. With those sharp, intelligent eyes, my mommy is always working. I work a lot too, Thomas said gently, but it's because I love my daughter and want to give her a good life. I bet your mommy feels the same way. They sat together until Victoria came rushing out, her heels clicking urgently on the pavement. She stopped short when she saw her daughter sitting calmly beside the janitor, actually talking. I'm so sorry, Victoria began, then paused. Lily, ... Are you all right? Over the following weeks, something extraordinary happened. Lily began asking if Thomas was at school. Victoria, desperate and curious, arranged to be there during his evening shifts. She watched as this gentle man with rough hands and a kind heart spoke to her daughter the way no expensive therapist ever had, with simple honesty and genuine care. One evening, Thomas brought Emma with him. The two girls met, and something magical occurred. Emma, who understood loss and sadness, didn't try to fix Lily or change her. She just sat beside her and shared her crayons. Asked if she wanted to help draw a picture for Thomas, Victoria stood in the hallway, tears streaming down her face. This man, whose society might overlook, who earned in a year what she spent on a single business dinner, had given her daughter something priceless. He'd given her understanding. Mr. Hayes, Victoria said later that evening, her voice thick with emotion, I don't know how to thank you. Thomas smiled, that warm, genuine smile that crinkled the corners of his eyes. You don't need to thank me, ma'am. I just treated her like I'd want someone to treat my Emma. With kindness and patience. I've been so focused on building an empire, Victoria said quietly, that I forgot to build a relationship with my own daughter. In the months that followed, Victoria changed. She started leaving work earlier, spending evenings with Lily, learning to listen the way Thomas had shown her. The two girls became inseparable friends, and slowly, naturally, Thomas and Victoria found themselves drawn to each other, bonded by their love for their daughters and by something deeper, a recognition of genuine goodness. Thomas taught Victoria that worth isn't measured in bank accounts or business achievements. Victoria helped Thomas see that accepting help and kindness wasn't weakness, that his daughter deserved security and opportunity, too. On a quiet Sunday afternoon, nearly a year after that first meeting, the four of them sat together in the park. Emma and Lily were feeding ducks by the pond, their laughter floating back on the breeze. Thomas and Victoria sat on a bench, their hands clasped together. You know what I've learned? Victoria said softly. Real wealth isn't what I thought it was. It's knowing someone sees your child, really sees them, and loves them anyway. It's finding someone who values kindness over everything else. Thomas squeezed her hand gently. And I've learned that love doesn't care about what we do for a living, or how much money we have. It cares about what's in here. He touched his chest, and whether we're brave enough to share it, the impossible had happened. Not because anyone was fixed or changed into something they weren't, but because genuine kindness, patience, and understanding had been given freely, without expectation or judgment. Two families, from completely different worlds, had found each other and become whole. Sometimes the greatest miracles come not from those with the most power or money, but from those with the most heart. And sometimes the person who can do the impossible is simply the one who takes the time to care.